Anytime I go to put new bar tape on my bike, I go and watch a video on YouTube of a World Tour bike mechanic putting bar tape on. And they put that bar tape on like they're tying their shoelace. Then I go and do it, and it takes me 10 times as long. Here's the problem I found with comparing what I'm doing to what they're doing. They probably wrap hundreds of bars a year. I may do it a couple times. They have 10 times more experience. They do it regularly, where I don't. I'm just a regular guy. I do my 2 bikes. And like I said, I might do it 5-6 times a year if I'm lucky. And what makes it harder for myself is I have these 2 remote shifter buttons that stick out that I like to cover with the bar tape, so I got to cut holes out for them. I'm going to show you how I do that today. So this leads to a good question: is when should you replace your bar tape? I know guys that run white bar tape and they put new stuff on every month because they want that crisp, clean look. Other guys crash, they got to replace it because it tears, and then sometimes it just gets worn out. I've also seen other guys don't run any bar tape at all. So it's really a personal preference. You can replace it as much as you like, or you can let it wear out completely. I find what starts happening with me is it starts stretching, especially on my right side. And I'll show you, you'll see the right side is worn way more than the left. And what starts happening is it stretches, and then you start getting gaps, and then it's time to replace it. And so that's what we're doing today. Let's do this. If you're looking for new cycling kit, check out Suki Sports. This brand's from China, and they make great cycling kit that's affordable. This jacket, it's a winter jacket. It's great. But what's even more great about it is it's $50. I don't know where you could get a cycling jacket for 50 bucks that's worth spending 50 bucks on. What's even better is if you use my link in the description and my coupon code, you get 50% off. And I get a small commission if you use my link and coupon code. It goes to help out this channel. So if you're interested, check it out. They have bibs, jersey, all different types of designs. For a bib jersey set, I think they're less than $120. If you're interested, go check them out. And like I said, it really helps out the channel. These guys have been great to me, and I'm sure they'll be great to you too. On the right side, you can see how it's all stretched and mangled, but on the left side, it looks way better, and that's obviously because I'm moving my hand and gripping it on the right side way more. What's really great about this little project is you don't need too many tools. You need the replacement bar tape itself. I would recommend getting some electrical tape, a pair of scissors, and then you can get yourself a little small pointed scissors like this, like precision scissors or whatever you call them, and then a knife. So the first thing we're gonna do is peel back the hoods and then peel back the tape. I like to pick at the tape and make sure I catch an edge, and I don't want to cut it because I don't want to scratch my bars. So I always just take the time to find the edge of the tape. So this is probably the funnest part of the whole thing, where we just get to unravel it right off. So as you can see, I have my climbing shifters or my thumb shifters. That's why I run the bar tape all the way close to the bar. Obviously you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but because I run it all the way to the bar, I need to make sure I use as much as the bar tape as possible. And I'm going to show you a few tricks on how I do that. So this is the cover to finish off, the tape to finish it off. And then this is the piece to run under here, which we're going to use, and I'll explain why. But what I like to do with the bar tape is open it all the way up. And you can see how this end is all chewed up because it was rolled tight on the inside. So we're gonna use that at the bottom, so we have the nicer tape at the top, which is what we're gonna be looking at most of the time. I start on the right side with the thumb shifters, so when I finish this side, I can line the left side up. And we're gonna peel off that little sticker, which gives you some grip. And the way we're gonna wrap this is outside in. We're most likely gonna be gripping it like this, so we wanna wrap it in that direction. So I started about halfway with the seam at the bottom. And before I get going too far, I want to push the plug in without tightening it to make sure that it all looks good. And so that's why I put the seam at the bottom, so you can't see it at the top, and so we'll tighten that after. So what I want to do here at the bottom, because I'm grabbing it down here the least, I'm trying to make the spacing as wide as possible without it sticking out. And that way I'll have more tape at the top. And obviously I'm trying to make this as even as possible so it looks uniform. But what we have to be careful about is as we come up through this bend, it's very easy to get a gap here. So as I'm coming up, I'm making sure that I'm covering as I go. So once I get to here, I take out my little piece and I hold it in place. So it looks like we got it pretty good there. So right here, before I go any further, I got to check everything. And you can see we're kind of, when I put that back, it's not going to look good, right? So we need to back this off. We're going to put this like that. So once I get here, I pull it back to make sure I don't have any spots sticking out and that I overlapped all of the seams right here, and it's looking pretty good to me. They are spaced out pretty far here. I'm not too worried though, because I don't grip it too often there, maybe when I'm doing a sprint. I'm most concerned about this area here. What I'm looking for here is spacing them out properly, but also keeping them even and uniform. And it looks like I'm gonna have more than enough tape. I'm pulling it tight, but I'm not stretching the bar tape. So once we get here, I really wanna line this up, and I'm gonna cut a small hole. We wanna cut the hole a little higher, because as we pull it down, so I'm gonna cut a hole right about here. So what can happen here is if we pull this too tight while we've cut it, you'll break the tape right off. And I've done it a bunch of times, and boy does it suck. So there we go. So now that we've got that done, let's trim that up a little bit. Those buttons feel great, nothing blocking them. I like to make this look as straight as possible here. So what you want to do is get your scissors and cut this part of the tape, and you want to cut to the outside like this. You go for the corner and you want to cut this as straight as possible. We're going to leave about a half a centimeter overlap. And as I come up and over, what I'm looking for is this line to be nice and straight. But what I mean about straight is I want this going straight back like that, not like this, not like that. And then now I have a gauge of where this one should end. And you can see here where the other one ended. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this on at the bottom, cut this down here, so the seam finishes on the bottom. This is what this piece of tape came for, is to finish it off. And I think it's great. I don't know which way you're supposed to have the symbol, if you're supposed to have the symbol this way or that way. I'm looking at it more than most people, so we're gonna go with this way. And you want the seam to overlap on the bottom, obviously. So it looks like, and I think we're gonna put that symbol, we'll put that symbol right in the middle, perfectly straight. And this one you may have to pull a little tight, which is fine. But again, you don't want to pull it too tight. That looks good. Okay. So there we go, one bar done. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the left side. Okay, so a little trick that I have to use a card. We're gonna get our little measuring tool that we made. And we're gonna do the same thing with our tape. We're gonna leave the same amount of tape hanging over. A little measuring, so there we go. So we wanna wrap this bar tape pretty tight, but we don't wanna stretch it too much, because if we stretch it too much, it'll shrink. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing. What I wanna do is line these symbols up. Now all we need to do is make it straight, like I said earlier. That's it, we're done. Well, we just need to tighten these off. That looks about straight. So we're just gonna tighten this down until they're snug. So as you can see, I take my bar tape pretty serious. However you want to do your bar tape. Like I said, I've seen guys not even care about it, use hockey tape, and I've seen guys take it even more anal than me. They got double-sided tape under there, they wrap it twice, all kinds of stuff. I wanted to show you how I do it. And again, if you just want to slap some bar tape on there and take 5 minutes, by all means. I think it's something that you can really personalize on your bike and do it the way you want to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and all that stuff. It really helps out my channel. I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye.